He is still the reason for the season. He always will be. Singing about a man who was a baby, who became a boy, who became a man. He was born in an obscure village, a child of a peasant woman. He actually grew up in another village where he worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. And for 3 years, he was an itinerant preacher. He never owned a home. He never wrote a book. He never held an office. He never really had a family of his own. He never went to college, never set a foot in a big city. He never traveled 200 miles from the place he was born. He did things that usually accompany greatness. He had no credentials but himself. While still a young man, the tide of popular opinion turned against him. His friends ran away. Even one of his best friends denied him. He was turned over to his enemies. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed upon a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had on this earth, and that was his coat. When he was dead, he was laid in a borrowed grave through the pity of a friend. 20 long centuries have come and gone, and today he is still the centerpiece of the human race and the leader of the column of progress. I'm not far within the mark when I say that all the armies that have ever marched, all the navies that have ever sailed, all the parliaments that have ever sat, all of the kings that have ever reigned, all put together, have not affected the lives on this earth as powerfully as has that one solitary life. 2020 was a proverbial train wreck. 2021 was challenging and difficult. And 2022 is unknown with no great relief in sight. I assure you, you and I can place our lives, our soul, in the hands of God for His provisions, for His grace, His strength, His leading. Jesus never changes. His word is true and amen. He is trustworthy. The world, the governments, our society constantly changes like weather patterns. Nothing is permanent except God. Diseases come and go. Life and death comes and goes. Nations comes and goes. But Jesus never changes. We remember the Christmas season with the tradition of giving gifts to one another. Let's take a moment to remember that God is the original gift giver. Isaiah 9 verse 6, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this." John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." We're also mindful at this Christmas season that there are many that have lost a loved one in the past year. This happy season of Christmas can be bittersweet with the absence of your loved ones. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. Let us all remember those near to us that are in a season of mourning, even at this time of Christmas. Let us remember to offer acts of kindness and remembrance to those particularly that are suffering this Christmas because of the loss of loved ones. Isaiah 61 says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified." May God bless you. You are loved by an everlasting love. Merry Christmas.